Hi, I'm Jake, and I've spoke lots of times on these videos about my mental health problems, living with mental health illness. And on Friday, I was diagnosed with emotionally unstable personality disorder, depression and anxiety, and also suggested that we explore ADHD as well, as came up as high on the self-assessment tool that they used at the consultation. And that was on Friday, and I've waited a few days to do one of these videos. And I've done videos before around how I cope at work and being a leader, which I think helps me manage my mental health a little bit better with work because of some of the symptoms that I have, some of the things that I experience. But obviously over the last few days my head has absolutely just been spinning completely with all of the different things to think about with a diagnosis, something that I've wanted for a long time, because I can't remember a time where I wasn't living with mental health problems. I've always been told over and over and over it's really difficult to get any form of meaningful support because I have, you would label it maybe being high functioning. But what absolutely lives beneath that is stuff that I'll quickly touch upon. But for me, obviously, EUPD, borderline personality disorder, it's also known as, is still new to me. It's something I've heard about before, but it's only been suggested to explore about this year. And ADHD I'm aware of as well, but again, this is the first time that someone's actually said to me that that's what they think it is. Now, I think with EUPD, it is, for me, because I am only talking on my behalf, that absolute range of feelings. So, you know, I can, and I used to say this actually in a previous job, I used to hate having morning meetings. So if I could, I used to have someone who helped me manage my diary. So I would be able to book meetings in for the afternoon mainly, but there was actually no rationale behind that. It just was that I started feeling like, oh, mornings aren't really that great, but actually it's not that. There can be some mornings where it's absolutely fantastic. So yesterday I was up at 6 a.m, I was doing emails until 9, and then, you know, we get to 3-4 o'clock and I'm definitely just not in the zone at all. And then there are days where I start or want to start at 12 or 1 o'clock in the afternoon and working right through till 9 or 10 o'clock at night doing emails and work. But it's that fluctuating emotion. So you know, and it can change right the way through the day. So say can wake up and think, okay, well, I'm not really feeling anything, just want to get on with the job, get on with my day if it's a day as well, of just not being at work, and be incredibly sad because of an email or someone looking at you the wrong way. And you know, people can say that's paranoia, but it is just an emotion. It's an instant, like, oh right, my day is absolutely ruined now. And now I'm 28, I just felt like I couldn't keep living with constantly feeling this way and not having any answers. There was no feeling of a rationale behind it. And I do just think for the diagnosis, and it has only been, what, 4 days now, but feels like it is like a weight lifted off my shoulders. So having joined some self-help groups and spoke to some other people who are living with this condition with lots of different symptoms and consequences of that, has just been really interesting. But what is definitely key is that we need to have far more effective support, and that's why I will keep talking out about it, because yes, I'm chief executive of an advice charity. I'm really proud of the job that I do. I'm proud of the jobs that I've done before, but it's absolutely not easy. It's not something I can just park and put my hand and say, well, it's just a mental health problem that I'll get over. So I'm just looking here behind me on the computer at some of the symptoms. So impulsivity, so that's quite often as well. Mood swings, which is what I just described to you before, around feeling different things in the same day, and often, unfortunately, those mood swings can then last days. So one of the things I talked about at consultation is that I could get to a Friday afternoon after a long, and it could be even been a good week at work, and then I'll just get an email at the end of the week, or I'll be on a meeting that just didn't feel like it went well, or and then, yeah, that's it, I'm just done. I won't get out of bed until Monday morning, until I have to go back to work again. An overwhelming feeling of overwhelming fear of abandonment. So again, I described this to them about, like, I've often left job before the end of a probation period, and thankfully I haven't done that now for a couple of years, but it used to be my big worry, was that feeling of rejection, abandonment, sort of being left out, being left alone. But again, like with impulsivity, it's really helped me do things. So, you know, overwhelming fear of abandonment, fear of being alone, helped me set up White Christmas Liverpool, which was an event where we had 500 people on Christmas Day in 2014 in St George's Hall, celebrating Christmas together, you know, so no one had to be on their own. Impulsivity, the ADHD symptoms, if that is what I've got, you know, they make things happen. I wrote down a quote from one of our board members who I was talking to last week, and he said what he likes about me is that I'm never satisfied. And that's what's really important for a charity, isn't it? We don't want to just plod along and say, don't we do a good job, that's great. We want to constantly do better. We want to make sure that everybody who's out there that needs our help has access to it. And it needs to be reasonable, it needs to be sensible, it needs to be effective. But all of that absolutely comes into play about being sensible. But actually that burning desire, that impulsivity, that thing of wanting to get things done, I think for us here has really made things happen, and it's made things happen in my jobs before. But where this obviously suffers for me is, again, the next one, extreme anxiety and irritability. That affects me. Now, of course, unfortunately, it may affect people around me as well, but I try to do my best to I was going to say cover it up, but I can't remember what the phrase is the consultant used, but you know, you have coping mechanisms that develop along the way. Feeling empty, hopeless and worthless, that's definitely an often feeling. Suicidal thoughts, definitely stuff I've talked about before. Last 2 Saturdays, I've not Saturday gone, but the 2 ones before the consultation, I'd absolutely had intense suicidal thoughts, which again I've never ever acted upon. I've never had self-harm, but the thoughts of suicide have absolutely been there because of feeling empty, feeling there's no purpose in life, which is why you throw yourself at work, and then you have a tiny problem at work or with an interpersonal relationship with somebody, and you want to give it all up and throw it all away. And I don't think people recognise how hard it is to keep hold of that and to stay sort of stable and in control. You know, and I make the tiniest mistake and I think, right, I've got to have a fresh start, I've got to move on, I've got to learn from that and start somewhere else where I'm not going to make that mistake again. And it's not fair on me, and probably not the organisation that I then would keep giving up as well anyway. So yeah, I think that's a good understanding maybe of the stuff there, and I'll hopefully talk about this more in the future, but I did just want to do a video, which I normally say is quite quick, but I know this has been way over 5 minutes now, but it's difficult. It's good to have answers. You've got to fight to get answers. This has been, at least for this journey, it's been over 2 years of saying I have a complex mental health problem. I don't just have depression and anxiety. These are not short episodes. This is something I'm living with every single day for as long as I can remember, and hopefully we can move forward, and there'll be lots of ups and downs for me, but I'm definitely positive about talking about it, about owning it, not being ashamed of who I am and what I've got, and hopefully continuing to use that to actually do things and make a positive difference to people's lives, which is what I'm all about. Thank you.